let's make it very clear. This is the biggest reason why England has not won anything since 1966. And they'll continue not to win anything. Because this country, they've got a weird obsession. Once they find a player, they will try their absolute best to destroy and kill that specific player. And we've seen it over the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It started with Bex in 1998. I don't know if you guys saw the documentary. Beckham came out and basically said after the red card against Argentina in 98, the English media try to portray an image about Bex that whenever they lose or whenever they don't have any sort of success or anything of that sort, they would always put it on Bex. Like Bex is the scapegoat, Bex, 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 Bex. And since then, it followed with Ashley Cole, with JT, with Rio. And over the past decade, you witnessed it. Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, Trent. And now they've found the new target. Now they've found the biggest target, the biggest victim, Jude Bellingham. The treatment and the way the English media has tried to portray Jude Bellingham over the past couple of days, over the past week, has been nothing short of disgraceful and disgusting. The way they've tried to, one, kill his character, try to portray an image of him which he isn't, has been disgusting to see. And by the way, the obsession didn't just start yesterday. Like an obsession can't happen like that. I think the obsession started, for me, in my personal opinion, 2 years ago. When Jude Bellingham decided, rather than staying in England, let me go to Germany. And he went to Germany, and people expected that Jude Bellingham would come back to England after his time at Dortmund in Germany, and then from there, the English media will try to have access to Jude Bellingham. They'll try to get more information, try to basically get into Jude Bellingham's life. But instead, he rejected Liverpool, he rejected Man City, and he rejected England, and decided to go to Spain, to Real Madrid. And that's when the obsession started. That's when the agenda started, and that's when they started to create this narrative about Jude Bellingham. Because you guys have seen it in his first season. He won the league, he won the Champions League, he won so many trophies, he gave so many match-winning performances, scored so many goals, last-minute goals against Barcelona in both games, and had a Ballon d'Or season. And in that same season, in the summer, had that Euros where he scored against Slovakia, and last-minute bicycle winner. Instead, rather than giving flowers and praise and giving him his credit, what did the English media do? They made him into a person, and they start to label him as an arrogant person, as someone who's bad character, bad apple, and a cancer within the dressing room. After his goal, where he came out and said, "Who else?" which is facts. I mean, who else? A player who that season itself, scored over 13 goals in the 90 minutes and onwards. So why not? Why can't he say who else? Because he's been doing it this whole season. But instead of giving his flowers and saying, "Wow, well done, thank you for saving us," instead they called him an arrogant person. And when England lost against Spain, he became the scapegoat, he became the reason, and the narrative started. Should England have started Jude Bellingham? Should they not have started Foden in the 10th position or Cole Palmer in the 10th position? And we witnessed over the past 12 months. But it continued throughout the last couple months. When Jude Bellingham had a surgery and he didn't play, he came back sooner than expected. He came back in September, should have come back in October. But both the international break in September and October, when he never got selected because he wasn't 100% fit, the narrative wasn't, well, he never got selected because he wasn't healthy. It was actually, thankfully, he never got selected because can England play better without Jude Bellingham? And should Jude Bellingham be part of the England squad when clearly he wasn't selected because he wasn't healthy? And now it takes us to 5 days ago, the game against Serbia. Jude Bellingham finally got selected with England because he's fully healthy, because he had about a couple stretch with Real Madrid where he continued to start, where he was starting every game and he was healthy. That's why he got selected, because the last time he never got selected because he wasn't healthy. But that's not part of the media's narrative. That's not part of the media. Doesn't care about the truth. They care about lies and clicks and just delusion. And that's what sells. That's what gets clicks. But the game against Serbia is where it took it to another level, because Jude Bellingham was on the bench. Morgan Rogers started, and instead of saying, okay, Jude Bellingham will come back on the bench X, Y, and Z, they start to paint this narrative on Sky Sport, on Talk Sport, throughout the whole outlets that should Jude Bellingham start for England? Morgan Rogers is the same level as Jude Bellingham. Why is Jude Bellingham starting? The only reason why he actually starts is because he's got the Real Madrid tax. He's no different than Morgan Rogers. Phil Foden should be starting in X, Y, and Z. So they started already. Try to paint that image that Jude Bellingham should not be starting. And then yesterday against Albania, he started, dropped a man of the match performance. He literally won man of the match. But instead of, again, give him his flowers, give him his praise, what did they do? Every single media outlet, from Sky Sports, where they started to make it a thing, to CBS, to every outlet, started to raise points about Jude Bellingham, and it even reached Tuchel itself. And what did they say about Jude Bellingham? They said that Jude Bellingham, when Harry Kane scored the goal, never celebrated with Harry Kane. And when he got taken off, was angry, showed frustrations, put his hands in the air, wasn't happy, didn't shake hands with any players on the bench when he got taken off. And after the game, never applauded the fans. And that's what they said. And that's what they painted. And that's what everyone tried. Again, they found a target. And let's make it very clear. And I hope you guys understand this. When they do this, they don't care about anything else because they're trying their absolute best to kill and damage the reputation and the character of Jude Bellingham. Because in reality, none of these three things happened. Firstly, he did celebrate with Harry Kane. Secondly, when he went off, he never showed frustrations. The clips came out, the footage came out from different angles that he never showed frustrations. He just took it, he looked at it, cool, I'm taking off, went off. Secondly, when he did go off, he shook hands with every player on the bench. And lastly, when the game ended, he applauded the English fans for making the trip to Albania. None of the narratives and the agendas which they painted was true. But what did they do? They successfully managed to bait the English media. Everyone believed it and everyone fell into it. And Tuchel was one of them because they asked Tuchel. And funnily enough, yesterday's interview with Tuchel, I don't know if you guys watched the press conference. After the game, England won 2-0. And rather than asking questions about Harry Kane scoring 2 goals, having over 30 GAs, rather than talking about the fact that England made the World Cup, rather than talking about the fact about anything about England and his time and X, Y, and Z, the first 4 questions of the press conference was directed to Jude Bellingham, was directed to show about Jude Bellingham. One of them being, Jude Bellingham fouled a player in the 10th minute. Why did he foul him? Secondly, what's your thoughts about the fact that Jude Bellingham showed frustrations, which is all cap? Thirdly, what's your thoughts about Jude Bellingham? Thirdly, what's your thoughts about his character? Do you think what he did was right? And Tuchel, rather than trying to defend him, rather than saying, I never looked at it, I'm going to speak to Jude Bellingham personally about it, X, Y, and Z, he then said, I saw that Jude Bellingham was not happy when he came off. I don't want to make more of it, but I stick to my words. Behavior is key and respect towards the teammates who come in. Decisions are made and you have to accept as a player. So Tuchel basically fell into the trap of the media. And the media have chosen Jude Bellingham as the person they want to basically make as a scapegoat. And what happens next, whether England win the World Cup or England don't win the World Cup, anything that happens with a failure, if England don't win anything, let's forget the success. If England don't win, which I know they ain't going to win, if England don't win anything, Jude Bellingham will be the scapegoat of everything moving forward. And this is my frustrations about it, because they've now chosen a new target, a new victim, where they can destroy his character. Because everything which they've said over the past 24 hours has been nothing but lies. But instead, rather than people actually looking at the reality, looking at the truth, everyone is falling into the lies and falling into the bait and actually believing all of the nonsense which is coming out from the media. And it's not just one person or 2 people, 3 people, it's the whole English media who's purposely trying to kill and damage the reputation of Jude Bellingham, which makes no sense. Jude Bellingham is one of your greatest talents that this country has ever seen. Jude Bellingham is one of your best players that you've produced and what you have currently. Instead of trying to help him, trying to help this team, encourage this team, motivate this team, instead what you're doing, you're trying your absolute best to damage and kill players because why? Because you want clicks, you want engagement, you want, I don't know what you want. And I don't understand it from a media point of view. Again, it's easy numbers, it's easy views, it's easy money. But from a manager point of view, Tuchel, someone who, if you guys didn't know, had already previous track record of not having great relationships with players at Bayern Munich, hence the reason why he got sacked the next Y and Z. Tuchel fell into the bait very easily. And this is my main issue with it. Before I get to the media, Tuchel should have handled the situation way better than what he already did. But the media are trying what we've seen. Forget trying. They've done it. And they've been successful in doing it where they've got a vendetta, a personal vendetta against Jude Bellingham because of the fact that he never came to England, because of the fact that he chose to stay in Spain, because of the fact that he's not open with the media, not trying to give media anything, not trying to open up and try to give media any sort of stories to write about him. Instead, he's trying to be personal, but instead of being personal and being himself in Spain, they're trying to kill him, and that is the reason for that. Because they hate, if you don't give us anything, then let's write something about you. If you don't give us nothing, we'll write something about you. And that's what they've been doing over the past 24 months. Whereas yesterday, what we've seen yesterday is one of the worst attempts I've seen towards a player. Towards a player. Because, bro, how can one person to two people, four journalists in one interview asking questions only about Jude Bellingham, about something that never happened, asking about a foul which any player can commit. But if Jude Bellingham commits that foul, is an issue. It's a problem. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Boys and girls, we are witnessing an attempt from the media towards a player where they're trying to damage his character. And everyone's falling into it. They're trying to make him and label him into a person he's not. Yes, he's confident. Yes, he's arrogant. But that arrogance and that confidence, he installs it into his game and he excels at it. Look what he's done over the past couple of years at Real Madrid. And instead of trying to build a team and build a harmony and build a chemistry where you're going to a World Cup. It's a World Cup season, for goodness sake. It's a World Cup season where the media should try their absolute best to create a great chemistry, a great harmony. Instead, what are they trying to do? They're trying slowly and slowly because the World Cup hasn't started. They're trying their best with every week, with every month. Create something about Jude, because when the World Cup happens and England don't win, you already know who the scapegoat is. You already know who the person is because it started already. Should Jude start for England? Should he be part of the starting 11? Is he part of the leaders? Is he this? Is he that? Is he that? And the conversation has started and it's gone mainstream. It's gone to every outlet now. Every talks radio and every channel is talking about it. Is England's best 11 without Jude Bellingham? And it's continuing. And I find it, I don't understand it, because you can ask any nation in the whole world, do you want Jude Bellingham in your team? And every nation will literally be on their knees and say, yes, please. Instead, the one nation who does have him is trying their absolute best to kill him and destroy him, rather than trying to make it easy for him, and rather than trying to create a great harmony around him, surrounding him. You've got one of the best talents, and rather than building the team around him and other players, you're trying to basically push him away from the team and make him into a target and make him into a scapegoat, because you did it with Bex and you've got track record, and you keep asking yourself, when is this country going to win the World Cup? When is this country going to win a trophy? I mean, there's a reason why he has never won a trophy. It starts with you guys. You guys have done it since. You guys have had two golden generations: the Paul Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, and now like every golden generation that you have, you kill it yourself. You are the reason why this country will not win anything, because of all the pressure and all the criticism and everything you do around it creates this. You think it's easy for a player like a Jude Bellingham. You think it's easy for me to play a game when I know every single media outlet after the game is going to be talking about me, and every single person has already got an image of me because of what you've created. You think that's easy? It's not easy. It's not easy for a player when everyone is talking about him in a negative way. It's not even in a positive way. It's not even, if the media is saying well done and trying to push him and encourage him, it can motivate him. But they're not. They're not motivating anyone. They're trying to kill him. And I think Jude is a strong person from what I've seen at Real Madrid. He's a leader of Real Madrid. He's an absolute leader at the young age he's at. But when you've got a whole nation trying to hurt you and trying to damage your character and damage the person that you are, it's not positive. It's not good. It's not good for the harmony of the team, because the team, it impacts the team. It influences the team. And this is why I said it literally 2 years ago. This country doesn't appreciate the talent and doesn't appreciate what they have. And I said it. Jude Bellingham, I know that's no chance and it will never happen. But if you can you please change, for goodness sake, your nationality? Go be a Brazilian. Go be a French player. Go and play for any other nation, because any other nation would accept you with open arms. With open arms. Except for the one country who literally have got you currently. And this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. All because of the fact he moved to Real Madrid. And all because of the fact he rejected England, rejected the media, rejected Liverpool and City. All because he said, I don't want to come to England and I want to stay at Real Madrid for the rest of my career. Because if he came to England, it would have been even worse. Look at Sancho. Look at what they did to Rashford, Sterling, and so many players. And they wonder why these players are trying their absolute best to distance themselves away from the media. I mean, brother, honestly, if you're part of it and if you've been brainwashed by them, then you are part of the problem, and you are one of the most gullible people I've ever seen. Because if you actually think Jude Bellingham is a cancer and Jude Bellingham is actually a negative to this England team, then my goodness gracious, you don't deserve him. You clearly don't deserve any sort of success. And if you're English and if you're British, I hope you don't win anything. Me personally, I'm gonna say I don't care. I hope this country does not win anything, because of what I've seen, the treatment I've seen towards these kind of players over the past decade, especially now where it's taken to another level. What they're trying to do to Jude Bellingham is disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful, because I've watched the sport for so many years and I've never seen an attempt to kill a whole character of someone. And they've done it. The English media have been very successful in doing it. Pogba is the biggest example. They killed Pogba. They killed him completely. And now you look at Jude Bellingham. My goodness gracious. But sorry, I just had to give my opinions and rant about the situation because I've seen it. And I wasn't going to make this video. I was going to ignore it. But I saw it, and especially from one Haywan, which I absolutely hate. Where is he? Where is this bum? This man right here, Craig Hope. Oh my goodness. He is part of the problem. And he has been trying every single press conference to kill this man, to kill Jude Bellingham. And he's been successful because he's been brainwashing people into believing his nonsense, his lies. My goodness gracious.